What is up, my berserkers? It's your king of Westeros, Aegon the Berserker here, and I'm back again with another video. And today, I'm going to be ranking all of the seasons of Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon from the absolute worst to the absolute best. And here are the categories for this list. Alright, so we got best of all time, great, fine, bad, and worst piece of shit I've ever seen, and it belongs in hell. And if you guys have been with me long enough, you're gonna know what season I'm talking about. Yeah, I was originally gonna do this for a live stream, but either Tiermaker or Restream kept crashing on me, and it was getting so frustrating. I was getting pissed off, so I've decided to give up on that and save it for a video. And that's how we got here. Alright, guys, let's get started. And I'm going to do this in a random order. So sit back, relax, and watch me rank some shit. Alright, so where should we start? Where should we start? Hmm. There we go. All right, let's start with season 5. I think season 5 was all right. For the most part, it did have a whole bunch of problems, but it had storylines that kept Game of Thrones afloat, like the High Sparrow storyline. That was one of the only good storylines in the show, and I also think the Night's Watch storyline and the battle at Hardhome, that was also really good, but the rest of it, yeah, the rest of it started having problems. And one of those problems is the Dorne plot. Like, most of the characters in the Dorne plot are so boring. Like, they're not interesting. And Oberyn Martell in Game of Thrones season 4 was like the only interesting Dornish character that we've seen, and the rest of them just kind of suck. They kind of suck ass. And they've turned the Sand Snakes into teenage brats that want to have sex with Bronn for whatever reason. And oh my god, what did they do to Tyrion? He should have been feeling vengeful, not, I don't know, mopey. And he's like that one uncle that is an alcoholic and is also super mopey at the same time. Yeah, he's like that one uncle. And I'm not going to talk about it further because we got some other stuff to rank. All right, what's next? Hmm. 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 There we go. All right, House of the Dragon, Season 1. Oh, come on. There we go. All right. House of the Dragon Season 1 is definitely one of the best things I've ever seen. Definitely one of the best things I've ever seen. And I think it completely shows, and I think it's a great comeback for the Song of Ice and Fire universe. It delivers on good characters, good actors to play the characters, and it eventually sets up what's going to happen in season 2, which unfortunately for season 2, which I'll get to at some point. Yeah, unfortunately for season 2, it let us down in a few areas, but House of the Dragon season 1, definitely the best. Great episodes all around, great performances all around, and yeah, overall, a great comeback for the Song of Ice and Fire TV shows. All right, so what should we rank next? Hmm. 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 Game of Thrones Season 1. All right, Game of Thrones Season 1, I'm going to put in... nope, not where I want to put it. Okay. I'm definitely going to put it in great because I think it's a great start to a great show, which ultimately had one of the biggest cliff dives I've ever seen. It was I think season one is just a great start to an already amazing show. The characters are good. The characters are good, and most of them acted like their book counterparts, or a little bit like their book counterparts at that point. The plot twist where Joffrey just straight up wants to chop off Ned Stark's head, but Cersei plans for him to go to the Night's Watch. Um, yeah, that was quite shocking, and yeah, overall, I think it's just a great start to many Game of Thrones fans, and also will introduce us to the Song of Ice and Fire books. Overall, I think season one's a great start to 3 even greater seasons, 2 fine seasons, and 2 pretty bad seasons at that point. All right, so let's get to more ranking. There we go. Game of Thrones, Season 7. This season was pretty bad in its own way, but I'll give it some credit for not being as bad as Season 8 of Game of Thrones. Like, Season 7, it had its own problems. It had its own problems from the beginning, like the battle with Euron Greyjoy versus the Sand Snakes. I was like, yes, when they finally killed off the Sand Brats. But I was not happy when Euron Greypiss did it. And oh my god, what have David and Dan done to this character? Like, he was a straight up badass in the books. Like, he was a pirate wizard that wanted to marry Daenerys to unite the dragon and the Kraken. But, and this is a big but, what have they done to his character? And some storylines just feel completely butchered, especially the finale. Especially the finale of season 7. Or was it episode 6 where they got the zombie? I think it was episode 6 where they got the zombie to show Cersei that there's this threat going on. And that negotiation with Cersei was completely pointless in episode 7. It was completely pointless. Like, what do you expect? Cersei's like, oh, I'm gonna join you guys. No. Oh my god, the writing in season 7 is just so bad, but it's not as bad as season 8. Anyway, moving on before I get too pissed off. Game of Thrones Season 4. And I'm going to put it next to here. Game of Thrones Season 4 was the best Game of Thrones season from start to finish. And we already see the after effects of the War of the Five Kings with Joffrey getting murdered and Tyrion's trial. Oh, that episode was so awesome. And the first appearance of Oberyn Martell, that was just incredible. That was just so freaking incredible at that point. And the Battle Beyond the Wall, god damn, the Battle Beyond the Wall was also most definitely one of the most amazing battles I've ever seen, and I've absolutely positively loved it. It was just a masterpiece from start to finish, and unfortunately it didn't deliver on the masterpiece for season 5 of Game of Thrones. And Charles Dance as Tywin Lannister, that dude definitely deserves an Emmy. I think he already got an Emmy for his performance as Tywin, but give him more, and give him more now. And overall, Game of Thrones Season 4, definitely the best. Definitely the best. Game of Thrones Season 2. And I'm going to put it above Season 1 because I think, in my personal opinion, that Game of Thrones season 2 is definitely a heck of a lot better than Game of Thrones season 1 in a couple of ways. One, the Battle of Blackwater. The Battle of Blackwater is definitely awesome. And the battle the Battle of Blackwater, which was between Stannis and the Lannisters, that was choreographed beautifully and is definitely one of my favorite battles in the Song of Ice and Fire franchise. In Game of Thrones in Game of Thrones season 2, we saw the after effects of Ned Stark's death and Robb Stark already conquering some Lannister territories. Wait, a few Lannister territories, and also Riverrun took that back. And overall, season 2 definitely good, but not as good as season 4. All right. Hmm. 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 All right. Game of Thrones, season 6. Season 6, it did some things better than season 5, but I still think it's all right. At least the Battle of the Bastards was good, but it's not really one of my favorite battles because in the book, and hopefully in the book, the Battle of Bastards would have happened so differently. It could have happened so differently, but they said, oh, good versus evil. That's not Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones is about like evil people on the good side and good people on the evil side. And you don't know who you want to win. And that is the signature Game of Thrones. And like, at least season 6 still has a bit of what made Game of Thrones Game of Thrones. But it just kind of lost that in the later episodes. And the actor that played Ramsay, I think he did a good job. But yeah, season 6 for me, I'm totally not feeling it. Totally not feeling it. And it got worse with season 7. All right, let's move on before I ran further. Hmm. 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 All right. Game of Thrones, season 3. I'm going to put this up below House of the Dragon season 1 cuz Game of Thrones season 3, that season was definitely one of the best seasons I've ever freaking seen. And the Red Wedding alone, ah, the Red Wedding was so friggin' shocking. Like, oh my gosh. I didn't see that coming. I didn't see that coming. And I think it's just the Red Wedding alone of why I put season 3 above seasons 1 and 2. Just that alone is just a masterpiece. And the other storylines in season 3 are also really great. It really showed the Tyrell Lannister alliance and how that it's kind of breaking a little bit already, and the Tyrells having their own agendas. And overall, I think season 3 truly one of the best of all time. And yeah, all right. Now we got our final 2. Hmm. All right. Game of Thrones, season 8. This shit right there, horrible. From start to finish, it was bad as fuck. And the battle at Winterfell was like so freaking dark and cheaply lit that you can't see anything that's going on. And also the Daenerys' switch up from her being the savior to her being the Mad Queen. That just didn't make any fucking sense at all. And also Jaime's son change up with one line. My god, that completely butchered his character. And like season 8 just makes me mad overall, and I'm going to save that for another full-length video of why I hate season 8 of Game of Thrones. All right, let's move on before I get more pissed off. All right, and our final one is our recent House of the Dragon season 2. And I'm going to put this above Game of Thrones season 5 because at least I did some stuff better than Game of Thrones season 5, but my god, the Harrenhal plot, that was so boring. It was boring as boring can get. My goodness. And at least the dragon battles are so much better and so much more choreographed than what we got in Game of Thrones season 8. Like, I'll give it that. And the first 2 episodes of House of the Dragon are absolutely amazing, with the performances of Tom Glencarney as Aegon II and crap, I think I forgot Aemon's actor's name. Oh, Ewan Mitchell. Ewan Mitchell. He did a fantastic job, and both of them carried season 2 on their backs. And what I also don't like about it was the contradictions of Rhaenyra's and Alicent's character, because in the book they just straight up hated each other, but in the show that's not exactly the case. And hopefully they'll hate each other a lot in season 3. All right, that is my ranking of all of the Game of Thrones / House of the Dragon seasons. If you got your own list, let me know in the comment section below where you'd rank all of the seasons from worst to best. And yeah, all right, thank you all so much for watching. Subscribe if you want more Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, or Song of Ice and Fire content. Also Dune, Lord of the Rings, K-dramas, and much more content. I'm now on the journey to getting 400 subs, and once we make it to 400, I'm gonna do a celebration stream. I'll do a celebration stream, and yeah. All right. So once again, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Like the video, comment your thoughts, and I'll see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching.